Welcome back, everybody, to Fuel Your Freedom. We are here with episode 2. Today, we are talking about 3 ways to get more out of your training. So this is going to be regardless of what your training is. If you're listening to this, I'm going to go with the assumption you're either currently working out or you're looking to start a workout routine and you just haven't gotten that step. Maybe you're doing this and listening to this as a little bit of research, but we're going to talk about 3 simple ways to get more out of your training. Again, regardless of what it may be. You can be running, you can be walking, you can be in the gym, you can be out of the gym, you can be at home, outside, anywhere you are. These 3 things will apply to your training. All right, regardless of the modality, it doesn't matter. I thought this was pretty important because the absolute last thing we need to do is to get trapped, like just spinning our wheels, not making the progress we want to see, but at the same time feeling like we're doing everything right. I've been there. It's so frustrating to feel like you're doing everything and yet you're not seeing the progress. You're not gaining strength, losing weight, again, whatever that goal may be. There are many different ways to make a workout program more challenging. We can add weight, adding sets or reps to individual exercises, increasing your time under tension by adding pauses or tempos, other timing strategies. The options are truly endless when we think about it. However, today we're going to focus on strategies that have nothing to do with changing up your program. You can keep doing the same exact thing you're doing right now, and these 3 things are going to help you get more out of your training. So without further ado, let's hop right on in. The first change you can make to get more out of your training is to dial in and focus on what you are doing. One of the simplest things we can do is leave our stress, worries, coworkers, projects, family to-dos at the door of the gym as we walk inside. The problem is, as with many things in health and fitness, this may sound simple, but it is absolutely not easy, right? Like we have all these life stresses, but if we can take that time when we step in the gym for ourselves, you will be amazed at what you can accomplish. Taking that hour to yourself, putting your phone on Do Not Disturb, focusing on your training and in that moment can truly be a game changer. Not only does it reduce the risk of injury, because you're now in proper position, you're in the right headspace. If we're lifting, especially if we're lifting heavy, we want to be able to dial in and reduce that risk of injury and make sure we're in those good positions. But it also helps us to perform the movements at a higher level. You may have heard of the term muscle memory. Now, this is a concept that kind of gets botched in the online space of health and fitness, if you will. And while it'd be cool if all of our muscles had brains, that's not exactly the case. Muscle memory is, you can think of like the pathway between the brain and the muscle. So it's the brain telling the muscle what to do and that muscle executing that action. One of the best analogies that I've heard for this is imagine moving to a new place. You can take a variety of routes between home and the grocery store, and you try each to see how it works. Maybe one day you go straight, one day you turn right. Sure, they'll all take you to your home or to the grocery store, depending on what way you're going. But there's going to be one that's more efficient and effective. This is kind of what muscle memory is like. As you learn a new movement, the motor neurons fire, telling the muscle fibers to contract. Over time, it becomes smoother, even feeling like second nature. That is muscle memory. As our muscles learn the best and most efficient ways to contract, to execute different actions, they can fire at higher levels, and we become more confident in the movement. By focusing in on our lifts, we can enhance this process. It can move faster as we really focus on what we are doing while we are in the gym, instead of mindlessly just picking things up and setting them down, or even as we're walking. But again, it's kind of like how it's easier to learn where you're going, when you actually drive the car. Same idea here, right? If we're in the passenger seat and we're not focused on what we're doing in the gym, it's going to be a lot harder for the body to realize what we're doing and to make those connections and learn. But as we're in the driver's seat, we're in there, we're focused, we know where we're going. These contractions are executed more smoothly, and it's easier for us to kind of remember that in the future. So focusing on what you're doing may be small, but is it the key to turning your workouts up a notch? If you're not focusing in the gym, if you're coming in and you're thinking about all the things outside the gym, I encourage you to set aside some time this week, pick one of your training sessions, one of your workouts, and really dial in. Focus on what you're doing in that moment. Leave things at the door and pick them up as you walk back out. The second change we can make is to ask yourself, are you training or are you just working out? They sound like the same thing, but are they? I've worked out for years, and I went through training periods at that time, but mostly I just worked out. So you're probably thinking, what is the difference here, For me, working out is simply moving your body. Your heart rate might go up. You might start sweating. It might be a strength-based workout or maybe an aerobic one. But there's no pattern. Maybe it's a one-off workout or even a series, but they don't connect. You're simply moving your body with no end goal in mind. And this is good. Our bodies love movement. We need to get in that movement. Sometimes we need those mindless workouts. But on the other hand, training is structured. There's an end goal. We start at the end and work backward to engineer a plan to ensure that we meet that goal. There's flow, and each day is balanced with those within the week, the month, and the next phase. If you don't have a plan, how do you know that you'll get where you're going, right? Bringing back our map idea. If we're driving to a new place and we don't have a map, I can tell you for sure it's a high potential you're going to get lost, right? I've been there. I've done that. Have a plan when you step into the gym. What do you want to achieve in the long term? What is the goal of that single session? Each time you step into the gym, have this plan. Know what you're going to do. Track your metrics, your reps, your sets, the weight that you're lifting, etc. Not only does this show when you've made progress and guarantee that progress is happening, but it allows you to be efficient while you're there. No one has hours to spend in the gym. There are other things we need to do with our lives. Having a plan creates both an efficient and effective training session without all the fluff, noise, and distraction of a potential workout. Leave the roaming and working out behind. Start dialing in and training. Know that you're going to reach those goals. Again, whatever they may be. But when we have a plan and we're able to know that it is guaranteed we are going to reach that goal, that's when we're training. So I've talked about 2 factors you can change inside the gym or inside your workout session, right? So what I say in the gym, but I know in these times, right, some people are working out at home. You might be working out outside in the gym. It's all the same, but within our training session. But the last one has me thinking outside. So I pose a couple questions. What does your nutrition look like? Does it support your goals? How much water are you drinking? Are you properly fueling your body for workouts so you can perform during them? If you're crushing your body and running yourself into the ground while you're in the gym or during a training session, but you're not recovering, what's the point? No, seriously, what's the point? We don't get stronger from the training itself. We get stronger, leaner, insert your goal here, from recovering from training. But recovery doesn't mean just sleep and massages and other body work. Of course, these are important, but food and water are equally important, if not maybe even a little bit more. We have to fuel our bodies for the activity we want to do, in and out of the gym. But especially as females, we can get caught in the trap of low calorie, low carb, etc., etc. Even if you're trying to be in a calorie deficit and lose body fat, you need fuel, especially for those workouts. Think about what you're eating before, maybe even during, and especially after your workouts. Make sure that that food and that water and that fluid intake all support your goal, right? We need to perform in the gym so that we can recover outside the gym. And the only way we can perform while we're there is if we are fueled and ready to do so. If we're sleeping well, right? Focusing on the Focusing on the quality of our sleep, right? Making sure we have those things in order, like blackout curtains, avoiding screens before bed, minimizing noise throughout the night, or running a noise machine. Oh, the words are escaping me. but you know what I mean. White noise. There we go. Not black noise. White noise machine, right, in the background to drown out anything that might be a distraction. But focusing on the sleep is just one part. We have to focus on our food, right? Even if we are limiting carbohydrates, potentially for, say we're doing a carb cycling, making sure we have the carbs that we do have around training, especially if it's a short, intense training session, like a strength training, if you will. We need those carbohydrates. Have them before. Make sure we get them in after. Make sure those muscles are recovering and we don't utilize our muscle tissue and burn that for energy instead of using our fat, which we would appreciate in a fat loss phase, to use for energy after that. We want to preserve the muscle. We don't want to lose weight at the cost of losing muscle. We want to lose body fat if that's the goal. But overall, we need to make sure that we are fueled. We need to make sure that we're recovering, because if we just keep running ourselves into the ground, that's going to lead to injury. It's going to lead to overuse injuries. It's going to lead to no progress and lack of progress. We need to make sure that everything else is in line. Our training session starts before we even get to the gym. Focus on your nutrition, hydration, recovery, sleep, all to improve your performance in the gym. So there you have it. Focus on your training. Be in that moment when you're in the gym. Leave your outside stresses as much as you can at the door. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Take that hour for yourself and dial in to that training session. Stop working out and start training. Find your end goal. Set a date. Pick an event. Whatever you want to train for. But find that end goal and work backwards to get there. How long is it going to take? I talked about setting SMART goals in my last episode, in episode 1. Make sure we know how long it's going to take to get there, what it's going to take during the training sessions and during those training cycles. But have a plan when you step into the gym. Leave the meandering and wandering around the gym behind. Follow that plan. Finally, number 3, focus and dial in on your factors outside the gym, such as nutrition, hydration, recovery, sleep, etc. Yes, they might seem important, right? But focus on them with the thought of improving your performance in the gym. What are you eating before your workout? Are you focusing on a good night's sleep if you know you have a hard workout tomorrow? Are you making sure that hydration is there so that you have water and fluid in the body during your workout and after and all things in between? All three of these tips we can use to turn the dial up on our performance in the gym and get more out of our training session. And you know I'm all about the action steps. So what is it this week? Here we go. Take time today or tomorrow and think about these 3 things. Are you crushing all of them? Is there an area you can improve on? What is it specifically? Make that area your focus for this week. If it is being present at the gym, turn that phone on Do Not Disturb. Don't have it with you if that's an option. If you found yourself just working out, moving the body, that can be great, but what are your end goals? Get a plan, know your destination, and pick a route to get there before you start your session. Dial in on your nutrition, hydration, and or recovery. We don't have to do all of these things, right? While they're all equally important, maybe there's 2 or 3 that you're like, ooh, could sleep better, Pick one. Just start with one. Make that the focus this week, and then we can layer on our approach for next week. If we start to do too many things at one time, it's all going to crumble. So choose one thing, the one domino, if you will, that if we hit that domino, the rest will all just fall in line. Pick your one. Could be any one of these 3. Maybe it's something related to them. But pick your one and make that the focus for this week. Then, maybe next week, pick another one and another, etc. Layering on top so that we eventually have all of them in line and those dominoes can fall evenly. So what are you focusing on this week? Hop over to Instagram or Facebook and let me know at Coach Emily Meyer. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear about your focuses that you're doing this week within these 3 things. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This is all I have for you today. I will catch you guys next week. Again, be sure to leave a rating and review if you're listening on iTunes or any other podcast platform. I would love to hear it, and make sure to share this with someone you know. If you have someone in your life that might be starting a new fitness journey or pursuing a new goal, if you think this might help them, give it a share. I'd appreciate it. Until then, I will talk to you guys next week. Enjoy your focus for the week and have a great one. Bye.